everybody, welcome. This is the making of Cry of Fear part 2. I am the voice actor for Doctor. My name is Lasse Holmen, also known as Berserk. Pretty much I just make the voice for the Doctor and some bug testing and whatnot, which we are going to talk about in a couple of seconds. But I'd like to introduce
Andreas Rönnberg, as I said in the first episode, and
we have.
I'm still James, also known as me.
Okay, so the reason why in the last episode I said that we were going to talk about the planning, but the reason why we're talking about testing today is because of Lasse, and yeah, so we can talk about how we try to get Cry of Fear working for everyone, every tester. I mean, how.
I can start off with saying it pretty much was a bitch for me. Hardware-wise, it wasn't really an issue. The thing was that Andreas and James did quite poorly on the instruction-wise, saying how, where and when the DLLs were going to be placed. So I had major difficulties getting the thing to work in the first place, just like executing the mod and getting the proper updates where it was supposed to be, because James was always developing new versions of the DLLs, and I mixed up all the time where they were supposed to be placed, either in the Cry of Fear folder or in the original Valve folder. So yeah, I had major problems with that.
I think you just need to not be a noob when you're...
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But yeah, the thing is that you have to make instructions so fucking basic that even a fucking idiot would understand it like me.
Yeah, so Steve was helping a lot with testing as well. He's actually had the same role as you. Like you were mainly doing voice acting, but you were also our main testers. And I mean, you had to play the mods so many times to find all the bugs. I wonder how many times you played it.
I don't recall how many times because I never made a count, but I do know I have a whole college rulebook notebook entire full of notes that I did, and pretty much every bug that I noted was actually taken care of. Some of the major bugs that you still are experiencing today aren't taken care of, but those are because there's really hard to find out and figure out what their source is, really.
Yeah.
But many of those small things that I mentioned has been taken care of, really.
Yeah. There's been those really small mapping bugs. Let's say like a texture is mirrored, maybe, or it's a line bad on a brush.
Like a leak or something like that.
Yeah, I mean those bugs aren't really necessary, or really, because we were pretty short out on time on the last months. We really had to tackle down the real critical bugs. We did test the mod so many times. I played it like, I don't know, 20 times the entire single player campaign.
Yeah, but then there's also when we added the unlockables testing, was it 21 unlockables, something like that. So testing every single unlockable that we added, every hoodie, every fucking weapon. So that's like different endings as well, 4 different endings, and testing all the unlockables with that. You must have been so mad.
Yeah, I've been really mad because there was like basically like a week or 2 before the release date, I had to go through Cry of Fear in easy, normal, or normal and hard and nightmare on different endings, just to make sure that the unlocks were working like they should. And I had so many fucking problems with doing nightmare mode because it's so fucking hard. Like just the really first boss, I had like nothing to go on, no tips or whatsoever. Because like in the easy you could just do a few shots with the Glock and you're through it. And you have to do another different approach with nightmare. So I just really got tired of playing through it all the time.
But it's not only testing and stuff you do, it's like when you suggest features and stuff, and we add them like the was it you or Steve who wanted the dodge?
That was me.
feature?
Yeah,
it was you,
yeah,
wasn't it?
exactly.
So that was if for those of you who don't use the double tap to dodge, you hold Alt or whatever you have it down to. Thanks to Lasse for that.
Yeah, I was actually missing that because I have major troubles double tap. I double tap all the time, and then I would accidentally jump to the sides when I didn't want to because I pressed the keys a lot rapidly. That was the thing I had problems with in another game, actually on Real Tournaments, because then I would always go to the sides, strafe left and right, and I pressed the keys a lot. And in a Real Tournament, it was like what's it called, temp or default key or default function. When you press to the sides, you would strafe or jump to that side, and I really hated that. So I just suggested that we implement a function where you just hold the key and press the directional button in order to get to that direction. I was really happy about that. So yeah.
There's also the way we structure the testing when you find bugs, the way we keep track of them. So we have a shared Dropbox that the main members have access to, and we have a big, just a big notepad text file doing it like the pros do.
Yeah.
And it's just a list of bugs, and then the good thing about Dropbox is this: if you cross something off the list, you delete a bug, you think it's fixed, then it comes back again. You can just revert back to an old version of the text file and find out what the bug actually was and stuff like that.
There was actually I just want to mention that there were small problems, and one of those things were the config files where the controls are. Because I like my kind of controls where I have certain keys at some places on the keyboard, and it will always reverse back to that when there was a fix or a bug that was fixed in Cry of Fear. It also reversed the controllers, so I also had to reassign all the keys that I specifically made for myself. That was kind of annoying, but it was a part of the process, really.
Yeah, I changed the bindings, like the the actual mapping, like say bind control to duck. I changed the name of that quite a few times as well. I can't remember why, but
also we also had to test co-op a lot, since we recently added that. It's quite new that the co-op. I won't go into detail of that. Anyway, so I had to schedule the co-op testing and announce meetings and stuff throughout the forums, because we have a team area in our forums where we can talk.
Secret stuff.
Yes, and so I announced co-op testing I don't know every week or something. We went on to Skype and just played it and filed every bug we found. We played co-op quite a lot as well. Yeah,
It was actually a pretty hard time because most of the time when we scheduled something, it was quite nice because you got to plan your day according to that period. But previously, when you had to beta test the single player, you could pretty much adjust it by yourself when you want to do it, because you're playing by yourself. You don't have to depend on other persons. But the co-op was really hard because you have to adjust your day to that time, and sometimes we just said 9 o'clock and would end up playing firstly 11 o'clock during the night or something like that. So it would be pretty hard, but we got it to work.
especially when there's stuff oh no, wait, I just got to fix this thing quick. Just wait. Oh no, I found it, but just wait.
That happened a lot because right before we were going to play on co-op, James was saying, wait a minute, we've got to compile this DLL first before we get to play.
Yeah, when we were playing co-op, just whenever we found a bug, we fixed it immediately.
Yeah.
And that took a lot of time.
Well, not actually that lot of time. James is a pretty pro programmer, so it actually went quite well, I would say.
But the thing is, there's no mystery to, I guess, people who are watching who are interested in getting into modding. There's no, it's just Dropbox, MSN, Skype, text files, stuff like that. It's not like mysterious programs or anything like.
Well, we have the debug system.
Nah, but nah.
And it gives a very good general direction, I think. But not like specifically for everything, but you get to base off very many opinions of what the problem can actually be just from looking from that debug.
Yeah, so how do you do that the debug system work? Like, whenever we get a crash or whatever, like...
Yeah, so if you get a crash in the game, you get a crash dump, which is like a file that's generated, and it has like the last few sets of, I can't remember how many, like commands executed. So you load that up, and then it points to the line of the code that it last ran before it crashed. So it's like, we didn't have that before. We had like 3 years of
Guesswork, really?
yeah, guessing why it was crashing. But then with the debug system, it made it so much easier.
You get a specific amount of lines from the last executed code.
Yeah,
or,
it's just the last line, and it's, you can easily see what the problem is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that have helped a lot to fix bugs. But I mean, Cry Fear is so complex. It has so many features. That's why bugs appear.
I don't think people even notice it in the background how much stuff is going on.
No.
But even stuff like the co-op, the level changing co-op, where it saves all your health, your stamina, all that, weapons and stuff. And then if you crash, the reliable channel overflow thing, during the level change, and then you come back, it will still remember your settings and stuff.
Yeah, that's quite amazing. That's the server handles all that.
That's perhaps another thing I would like to mention. Like the first version I tested, I probably mentioned that in developer commentaries, but like the first versions of Cry Fear, I had like no crashes at all. That was like over a specific time period or something like that, like a frequency of crashes over a specific table of time or whatever you want to call it. I could basically play through everything I wanted and then either get just really tired of playing or it would crash for some other different reason. And something along the road just happened, and then we got this crash that's still appearing today for some players. It's really strange, but can't really pinpoint where the bug is. And that's really something that we just have to accept. Yeah, I don't know.
We can't debug it. It's not generating a crash dump. It's something about the engine. I think you know what we're talking about. It's that it's called host. No,
it just freezes, really, doesn't it?
No, Comload.
BSP,
whatever. That's something with the engine. It's like we're using too much memory of the engine or something. There's nothing we can really fix unless, I don't know.
Probably like a massive patch, I think, if we did fix it.
I think I did some research about it and pretty much pinpointed back to Valve when they made the engine. It wasn't really supposed to.
It's an old Quake bug.
Yeah, exactly, because Quake is Gold Source is rebirth of Quake engine or whatever. Something that just can't be taken care of.
Yeah. So I guess in the future, small mods only. Like 5 maps, 1 month.
Yeah, too bad for her. But I guess that's all we have to say in this episode.
Is there anything more you want to add to that?
I don't know. Nothing that comes out right now. I think we pretty much covered the testing part and the difficulties we had.
How did you coordinate with Steve? Like when you was there any like?
That was the main thing. I can mention first that I've seen many interviews of other voice actors for like AAA games, like proper pro games, like the games that sell and whatever. All those voice actors, they don't interact with each other. Everybody's doing their lines. They get some direction from a director or whatever, what the producer or whatever. And other than that, they don't do anything but reading their own lines in a specific way, and it's left at that. It was pretty much the same thing with Cry of Fear. I get my lines, and I would do a take or two, do different versions of some of the lines, and ship it over to Andreas. And he would look over them, and sometimes it was okay at the first time, and sometimes I had to record them in a different way. Many times I probably have done this already during the clip right now, talk too fast, and I always do that. So I would try to slow myself down and do the lines more slow and more like in an eerie or creepy way. So just like that. But I didn't interact with the other voice actors in any way, pretty much. We talked together like that, and but it was pretty much just talking about how the model was working, how fantastic it was to fucking play it. But generally, talking about voice acting, we didn't really do a whole lot. Not at least during the latest weeks of during the release. Afterwards, we talked about it a little, but not much else.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, well that's the end of the episode. So like, favorite, and subscribe.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't do that if you're unlike us.
Drink beer every day.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next episode.
Yeah. Thank you.
Embarrassing.
I thought that was nice.